All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. In a few seconds, you'll hear kind of the buzzer when it's time. And we'll start with what we do every week, which is just forward knee march. All right, go ahead and get going. So drive your knees up straight in front of your body. Shoulders are down and back, standing tall. Just slowly getting the body moving, lubricating our knees and our hip joints, elevating our heart rate a little. Shake that out, quick 10-second break. Already in our Tabata format, we're gonna do squats with down and up arms. So as you squat down, throwing your arms back. As you squat up, reaching up with your arms, and you can go up onto your toes if you would like to get extra extension on this move. As you're squatting, sinking your hips back, chest stays lifted, weight in the heels, just warming up all the big muscles of our lower body, our shoulder joint. And relax, shake it out, 10-second break. Sumo squats will be next. So on this, we have a wide stance, toes pointing out. And as we lower into the squat, our knees will go out. And let's add inhales as we come up. Again, warming up our shoulder joint. We will be doing some planks and bear stance moves later. A lot of shoulder activation in both of those. Really trying to sink straight down as you do this. Shoulders stay stacked over your hips and rest. We'll do front lunges next. So do big step forward, feet stay about shoulder width apart, knee stays behind the toes. And go on the clock. We just keep our hands down on our hips on this one. Really focusing on that nice big step. As you push back to the starting position, driving through your heel versus your toe. So you really keep the weight and the pressure off your knees that way. And relax. We'll do reverse lunges next. So same movement, big step back, space between your feet, and we'll do this with overhead arms. All right, on the clock. So see if you can really work on that extension through your shoulders, trying to get your biceps all the way up by your ears. Starting to breathe maybe a little bit heavier, focusing to exhale on the effort. So as you press up to standing, exhale out. And relax. A few more warm-up moves. We're gonna do side lunges next. So nice big step to the side, hips go back, knees behind toes, weight in the heels. All right, let's go, and then we'll alternate legs here. It's really easy for your chest to drop down on this one, so focus on really rolling the shoulders down and back. Nice broad chest. Sitting up really tall on this one. And rest, 2 more moves. Really warming up our core a little bit more, which is what we're gonna hit hard. We're gonna do inchworms next. So you'll hinge forward up the hips. You can bend your knees if you want. Let's go. Walk out into a plank position. Optional push-up here if you wanna do one. And then walk it back in. Inhale up. Really focusing on our plank position here. Belly button's pulled into spine. You don't wanna let your hips sag down or stick up in the air. Space between your chin and your chest. And rest. We're gonna do last move, a 20-second plank hold. So let's go ahead, let's just walk it out and stop with your hands right under your shoulders. Really pressing your hands into the ground to create space between your body and the floor. Separating your shoulder blades so you're not sinking in here. Making sure to breathe. Almost there. And relax. Go ahead and grab some water if you'd like it. And if you have a mat, I would bring a mat nearby for this next round. We're gonna do a variation of bear stance movement. So a bear stance is hands right under shoulders, knees right under hips. This is our tabletop position. And to get into a bear stance, you're gonna tuck your toes and lift your knees just about 1 inch off the mat. You'll notice when you get tired, a tendency to want to get kind of way up here into more of this inverted position. So really focus on keeping your knees just hovering above the mat. At any point, if you want to put your knees down on the mat, that's a great option. All right, go ahead and lift. So just getting comfortable in this position, belly button pulled into spine. We're just going to hold for the first round to kind of see how it feels. So you should really feel activation in your core, your quads. Just like in our plank, you want to push your hands into the mat. Separate your shoulder blades so you're not sunk in here. And release down, rest, maybe sit up. All right, if you felt good on that first one, we're gonna add some movement now. You can always return to stationary. All right, if you wanna give it a try, let's try shoulder taps. Nice and slow. Pay attention if you're rocking and twisting out to the side. You wanna eliminate that as much as possible, so maybe widen the stance between your feet. Making sure to breathe here. It's really easy to hold your breath. And rest. All right, next one, we're gonna try lifting one foot a little bit and then lifting the other foot a little bit. All right, up, settle in. Go ahead and lift one foot just a teeny bit off the mat and lift the other. You'll notice the foot that stays down, that quad really activates. You should be starting to feel your shoulders and your core as well. This is a full body exercise. Stay with it. And take a little break. All right, next one, we're gonna add 2 steps walking forward and 2 steps walking back. So it's kind of putting those two things together. All right, so you're gonna take 1, 2, very slow. 1, 2. So opposite hand and opposite leg are moving at the same time. Option to go to a stationary hold, go back to the shoulder taps, go back to lifting one leg at a time. Rest. So anytime if there's a previous version you like better, go back to it. Shake out your wrist quickly if you need to. You can do fists for wrists as well. I'll show you that. All right, this one, we're gonna see if we can extend the leg. So we're building on from just lifting the toes to extending. To be a little bit more of a challenge. Might feel that balance shifting a little bit more. Keeping your focus. And release. All right, next one, we're gonna see if we can extend one arm and then the opposite arm. And I'm demonstrating fist for wrist if that feels better for you. Otherwise, it is kind of a lot of wrist work. Option can be to go back to the taps, to hold, or put the knees down. Totally great. Lots of variations to find kind of the appropriate challenge for you. Release. All right, 2 more. This time we're gonna do those bear walks, maybe a teeny bit faster. All right, ready? All right, so only if you feel comfortable with the movement, you can start adding a teeny bit of speed in. Extra bonus reps. Only 1 set of bear stance work left after this. Checking in, is there a space between your chin and your chest? Eyes gazing forward. Rest. All right, grand finale, we're gonna try to extend one arm and one leg, if possible in the bear stance position. All right, let's see what we can do here. I kind of have to do one at a time. Holy, very advanced here. Do your best, you gotta try things. To get stronger, you can always keep your knee down. All right, stay within your comfort zone, but don't hold yourself back, find some challenge. Rest. Nice job, everybody. Shake out your wrists, maybe roll them out. I do a little wrist wave. You might feel your shoulders a lot, so you can shake out your arms. All right, bear stance is in our past. Our next sequence is going to be a variation of crunches. So stay on your mat if you have one, or move towards the ground. So we'll start with traditional crunches to build the foundation similar to the last round of Tabatas, and we'll progressively add on some variations. So you'll start with hips and knees in tabletop position, hands behind the head. When you're ready, exhale, crunch up, lifting your shoulder blades off the mat. Space between the chin and the chest the whole time. Elbows stay wide, hands are very light behind your head. Gaze is up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you crunch up. Inhale on the way down. And release. Head and neck relaxed. You can come down to the mat. We're gonna do one more like that before we start switching it up. All right, tabletop position when you're ready, and begin. So option is to keep your feet down on the mat instead of the tabletop position. You can also crouch your arms in front of your chest. It's a little bit easier on your abdominals, but it's a little more pressure on your neck. So I prefer hands behind the head to support my neck a little bit more. And rest. All right, this next variation is going to be a reverse crunch. So we're going to keep our head, neck, and shoulders on the mat. From our tabletop position, we're going to lift our hips up. Go ahead and begin. This is a small movement. Really think of contracting your lower abdominals to lift your hips just a little. You want to avoid rocking forward and back. Exhale, little lifts. Remember, this one does not have to be big. It shouldn't be big. And release back down. We're going to do one more of those. And then we're going to put upper and lower together. All right, tabletop position for your legs. Let's go. Reverse crunches. Lifting your hips just a teeny bit off the mat. Try to keep your head, shoulders, and neck relaxed. Pay attention to any momentum you might be using. Try to eliminate that. Again, intentional, contracting the lower abs, lifting the hips so slightly. Relax. All right, this next one's called suitcase abs. We're going to start in the open suitcase position. We're going to do an upper and a lower body crunch, and then we're going to open all the way back up. Let's go. So on this one, it's all about range of motion. You want to get all the way open, so tapping your toes down, and then crunch in, elbows to knees. So even though your elbows come in, there's always a space between your chin and your chest. You never pull your head in. And rest. We'll do one more of those, and then we'll switch it up again. All right, getting ready. Let's go. Last round of the suitcase abs, full abdominal crunch. Really focusing on range of motion versus speed. Exhale as you crunch up. Extra awareness to space between your chin and your chest, even though you're curling into a tight little ball. Relax. This next set, we'll do some bicycle crunches, so we'll get our obliques involved. So it'll be opposite elbow to opposite knee. All right, let's go ahead. Similarly on this one, even though you're trying to touch elbow to knee, you don't want to pull your head in as you do that. So space between your chin and your chest. I'm a broken record, but that's really important for safety. You can keep the feet down on this one as well. Stick with the upper body. Relax. We have one more set of that. The other option would be keeping the upper body down and bicycling the legs. All right, final 20 seconds of work. If you're still feeling good, you can add in a little bit of speed on this final set. Maximize your reps and your time. Breathe, exhale, as you crunch each side. All the way to the timer, you're almost there. And relax, let it go. Release down, maybe take a couple breaths, just laying here. Grabbing water when you're ready. About 45-second break before we hit our final round of core work. We're going to be doing side plank variations. So it'll be 4 rounds on each side. So pick your favorite side to begin. I'm just going to start getting us set up. We still have some rest time. So you want to line your elbow up directly underneath your shoulders and stack your hips one on top of the other. This can be on knees or toes. Go ahead and lift up. So toes are going to have full extension of your body. Your feet can stay stacked or staggered if that feels better. You can also keep your bottom knee down. All right, so just holding here 20 seconds, first round, getting familiar with the side plank positioning. And release, 10-second break. All right, you can continue with the stationary plank, or I'm going to give you options to add on. From knees or from toes is great. All right, lift it up. We're going to do hip dips. So you're going to drop your hips down and lift them back up. So it's extra oblique activation on this one. Again, this can be done with your knee down or on your toes. Your top hand can stay on your hip. You can extend it. You can bring it up. I've seen some people put it behind their head. Really, wherever is comfortable for you. 2 more on this same side. New movement option coming. Go ahead and lift it up. You can do an optional abduction or a star movement here. So star would be traditionally with your arm up too, but it doesn't have to be up. This one you're really gonna feel fire up the glutes and the abductors, so your outer thighs. And relax it down. We have one more on this side, and it's gonna be an option to thread the needle. So again, you can be on your knees or your toes. All right, let's lift it up. All right, so if you're threading the needle, you're reaching under to the back side of your elbow and then opening it back up. So extra rotation in this one. Keep breathing. You can do any other variation you like or a stationary side plank. And relax, quickly transition to the other side. 10 seconds are gonna go by pretty fast here. Remember, elbow should be right under your shoulder. Bring it on up. Hips should be stacked. So if you notice your hips rolling back, really try to stack them one on top of the other. Remember, you can stagger your feet if that's more comfortable. You can be down on your knee. Catch your breath a teeny bit. Focusing on your breathing, relax. All right, we're gonna do the exact same variations on this side. 3 rounds to go, and then we'll be finished. All right, lift it up. This is the hip dip option if you want to give it a go. As much as possible, you want to try to pick the same variations on your second side that you did on your first side. So if you did all the options the first side, try to do them all again on the other side. Relax. If you found you went on your knees for half the planks on the first side, try to do half the planks on your second side from your knee as well. All right, lift. This is our star option. Adding the abduction, the leg, extra glute, and outer thigh work here. You may notice that one side is harder or easier than the other. That's pretty normal, pretty common. Relax. Last 10-second break, one more round, and then we'll stretch. All right, get ready. Lift it up, threading the needle here. Remember, trying to tap behind your elbow if you can. So working on that big rotation, big range of motion. You should really be feeling your bottom oblique on this. And release. Let it go. I just thought of Elsa from Frozen when I said that. All right, go ahead and release all the way down to the mat. Let's just hug our knees into our chest. Maybe do a little side to side rock, or a little forward and back rock. Taking some nice deep breaths. And when you're ready, you can rock a little bit bigger all the way up to seated. And I'm gonna have us flip over onto our knees. Do a few cat-cows and a child's pose here. So first cat-cow, go ahead and release your belly down, gaze up, and exhale round. Tucking your tailbone, lengthening through the spine. Inhale, release, a little stretch through the abs, exhale round. Moving at your own breath, it should feel really good through all parts of your core. And maybe you want to do a little side to side tail wagger movement as well. All right, when you feel pretty good, let's just return to a normal stationary tabletop. We're gonna thread the needle to stretch our shoulder. So inhale, arm up. Exhale, thread it through, but this time release the ear down to the mat. You should feel this stretch in the shoulder that's down on the mat. You feel really great after those bear planks. And release. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, thread the needle. Releasing your ear down to the mat. Letting gravity do most of the work to kind of sink you into this shoulder stretch. Should also feel really good after the side planks that we just did. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Maybe congratulating yourself. You just did 15 solid minutes of core work. Release that. Let's go ahead and tuck your toes, shift your weight back, then walk your hands in, bend your knees as much as you need. take just one moment here to really let everything go. Head is heavy, release through the lower back. Maybe a little side to side sway. And then when you're complete in this position, roll it up slowly. One vertebrae at a time. And when you get to the top, congratulate yourself, you did amazing.